Yeah, if you think you're going to do it in your own strength, then you know what? Yeah, you can do it.
COVID, it's been helping people move their businesses from offline or brick and mortar to online.
Systems are more important than skills as an entrepreneur today.
It's totally okay to reinvent yourself multiple times, especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations with wendyybailey. If you're a coach, speaker, or industry expert, you're in the right place for sales and marketing wisdom and insight to grow your coaching business. Now, here's your host, Income Acceleration Mentor, wendyybailey.
Hey everybody, greetings and welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations. Today's guest, I'm so excited for this episode, is John Lawson, also known as colderICE. We're going to find out more about him in just a minute, especially how he came to be called colderICE. But let me tell you a little bit about him. First, let me say that John and I have been connected on Facebook for a number of years. And he actually came and spoke to one of my groups several years ago. So when I started talking about this podcast and getting ready to launch it, I knew that John needed to be a part of this. So when we talked about it, I said, okay, John, what are you doing now? And how can we share that with the viewers and with the listeners of this podcast? And he said, well, you know, everything to me is about sales and technology. It's about getting that back end together. So we're going to jump in. Welcome, John. You've been in business since 2001, about a year longer than I have. I know that means a lot because 19 years is a long time to be an entrepreneur. So I'm excited to have you here, and let's jump in, shall we?
Go for it.
Awesome. So why is sales and technology so important to you? Let's talk about that first.
I think, just technology has always been a thing with me. Mm-hmm. I was that geeky young black kid, which we see everywhere.
A nerd?
Yeah, right. I don't know if I was a nerd, though, in terms of everything else, but my interest in technology made me nerdy.
Gotcha.
Right? It wasn't like I was a misfit in terms of my personality or that I didn't understand what pop culture was for us in my community. I kept up with all that, but also at some level, I was always tech focused. I mean, like literally, my mom would give me, toys to play with, and I'd take them apart because I want to know how they were working.
Oh yeah.
I was that kid. Yeah. Also, I was the kid they used to call cheap, and it wasn't
cheap, really?
Well, see, that's the thing. They called me cheap because I was an entrepreneur. So I really, really recognized later on in life that I was born entrepreneurial. And the reason why they would call me cheap is because I was one of the first kids that had a car, right? And if you were going to ride in my car, you were paying for the gas.
I love it.
Yeah. So it's like,
we're
going to all go to the skating rink in John's car. Well, John's going to charge you $0.25 or something to get there. That was me. So they called me cheap, but I was just frugal. I knew that if I got you to the rink, I got some extra money so I could buy my popcorn or hot dog or whatever. Mm-hmm. So
you were working it.
So I guess those two combinations are how I got to be where I am today. Honestly.
Awesome. So how did you get into e-commerce specifically? Because I know you started out on eBay and then now you're more like an Amazon seller. So talk about that journey and what it was like for you.
Yeah, the basis of my story was that I was going bankrupt. A friend of mine had called me and said, hey, let's flip a house, right? And this area, he was like, it's on the corner of Joseph E. Lowry and Martin Luther King.
In Atlanta,
right? Probably the brightest neighborhood we have in our fair city. Of course not. But it was supposed to be.
I was going to say, that's not what I would say, John.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. I mean, but we bought this house and was supposed to flip it. I was the credit guy. I was just signing for credit. Long story short, that house never got flipped and I got stuck with a second mortgage. You know,
Wow.
he was free and clear because his name wasn't on it. But me, I was stuck, and I was about to go bankrupt, literally. And I was talking to a friend of mine. He's like, well, why don't you start selling some stuff on eBay? And I'm like, eBay? Really? You can sell stuff on there? I didn't think that would be something that could turn into something. I started selling my used books that I had around the house, and those started selling. All of a sudden, I'm able to make the next mortgage payment, and
Wow.
so on and so on. You know, move that forward. 4 years later, I left my job completely and did nothing but sell stuff online.
Wow.
Never looked back.
That's amazing. So we're talking 2005?
So 2001, when I bought that house.
Okay.
By January of that following year, let's say 2002, that's when I was like, okay, I got to get serious. And then really, I left in 2004 because at some level I said to myself, if I spent 8 hours a day on my business and not somebody else's business, where would I be? And I took that chance.
Awesome. Awesome. And the first year you were full-time in your business, what was that like for you financially, given that you didn't have the cushion of a job?
Well, so I left my job in September, and by the end of December, I was doing well. I mean, we didn't have any issues there. But by the end of December, my spouse called me up and was like, I'm tired. I want to quit my job too.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's when it became wow.
Yeah.
So January of that year, he goes ahead and quits his job. And then I think it became very serious because it was like, okay, now there's no fallback. There's no backstop.
Yeah, right.
And we've got to figure out
now. Yeah.
We've got to figure out exactly what we're going to do. So that's when it got very serious. And we did still have, 401k money if we needed it, you know, but we never ended up having to tap into that. I mean, we were lean. We one of the things is I think people leave their job too early.
Yeah.
Left too early. I left on time. Okay. Because I was supposed to leave in January of that year, and I didn't end up leaving until September. But I think people, you got to, at some level, you got to build that bridge for you to get from where you are, because the most important thing is you don't want to crash your own business. See, as long as I've had a secondary income, then I didn't have to eat off the primary income, which is what we need to build the business into something.
Sure. You need to reinvest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a good move on my part. His part, we got over it.
You got through it. You made it through it.
Yeah.
What's your rule of thumb to the entrepreneur who's a parallelpreneur or a dualpreneur for what they need to have in place before they quit their job?
So I think you need to write out exactly what you are planning on making and spending. I mean, literally, when I wrote my plan out, it was like, okay, I don't have to pay for parking anymore. I don't have to have a car, so I could keep the car, but I didn't have to put gas in it and all that stuff because I'm not leaving. I didn't have to do dry cleaning, right? Because you have to have good clothes to go to good work.
Right.
You have to have that. I didn't have to buy lunch every day. I could eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And literally, my thing was like, okay, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, pretty much.
What you got to do.
Exactly. So I think really what it is, you want to figure out what the bare minimum lifestyle that you can live to get away and escape from the plantation, because you're used to this paycheck every week. You're not going to have a paycheck every week, and we are just the way we are. We spend like what, 90%
above our means. Above our means.
Right. We rent a lifestyle. When you put it on paper, you want to own your life. And that's a whole nother level.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. That's good advice. I think you're right. Too many people leave their jobs early, and so they end up suffering,
Yeah.
and suffering isn't pleasant because they don't know when the next meal is coming from sometimes, or the next paycheck is coming, because it's different. You can't hunt and eat at the same time when you're an entrepreneur.
Good,
so I love that. I love that. So colderICE
Oh, Lord.
is your nickname, and I'm gonna ask that question in a minute, but I still want to find out from you. I know you do a lot of travel and speaking globally, and what are some of the topics you talk about when you speak?
Mostly social commerce. All right. How to use social media for commerce. And, that's what I got into because it was technology. I was fascinated with Twitter, right? I was just fascinated.
That's how we met. Do you remember that?
Yes, absolutely.
It was when Twitter was small enough that you knew who was coming through your stream, your feed.
Right. It was like 100,000 of us on there.
Right.
Right. And it was just such a cool tool at the time. And I remember I had entered a contest, and the contest was about, who was social savvy. And it was like, oh, I want to be the social savvy guy, small business guy. And I entered this contest, and the way that the contest worked was if you get the most votes, basically, you would win. So I figured out how to get a lot of votes, and it was real, simple. I was like, okay, every day I would give 5 good stories on a topic, on how to make more sales, how to grow your business. I would find 5 of those stories every day. I'd post them
every single day. 5 stories.
5 stories a day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 5 stories a day. And I would post them. I didn't write them. I just had to find them.
Oh, okay. I was going, wow, that's a lot of storytelling.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I was impressed, John. I was like, well, I need you to write something for me if you're doing that,
No, I would just go out, find them, put the link up, and I would say, here are my 5 stories of the day.
Okay.
And if you like those 5 stories, please vote for me in the contest.
Some good stories, huh? Did you win?
It wasn't hard.
I'm assuming you won, right?
I did win.
Yeah.
I did win.
What was your prize?
What's that?
What was your prize? What did you win for winning?
I got recognition.
Okay. That's not bad recognition still, though.
I didn't win any money. I don't think there was a cash prize. No, there was no cash prize, but I did win the contest. And, that was a jumping off point for me. Okay. And, so people started asking me, well, now that the contest was like from one of these small business websites, and they got a lot of press. I was on MSN,
wow.
Website.
Okay. That's a big launching point for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And so that had other people coming to me about social. And then I ended up writing a book on it.
Okay.
And
what's the name of your book?
It's Kick-Ass Social Commerce. Hey, I happen to have a copy right here.
I love it. Yes.
But
I gotta get me a copy because I don't have it.
Oh my God.
I don't have it.
Yes.
I get it. It's no problem.
It is the best book on social media for business. There is no better book on it. And my mom has verified that. She told me that.
Okay. So well, she's not biased at all, though.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
But it's a fun book. It's fun read. But the deal was at the time, there was a whole lot of people talking about social media, but I had a different perspective. I didn't care about getting likes. I wanted to make money. If I wasn't making money with it, why do it? Right. And I think a lot of people just didn't have those two things connected. So that's why mine is, social commerce.
Right.
So that's what I speak on most of the times when I'm traveling around.
Okay. What was your first big global speaking event? Because I've seen pictures and stuff that you've shared where you've been somewhere everywhere.
Yeah. Global speaking event definitely was to Australia. It was a conference called the Professional eBay Sellers Association conference.
Okay. So you had that experience and your book.
Yes.
In your social experiment, social savvy entrepreneur. Is that what your title was? Social savvy entrepreneur of the year or something?
Yeah. I can't remember exactly, but yeah.
I know it's been a while, but it was
social savvy something. you know.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But no, I'm thinking at that time I didn't have a book though.
Okay.
But
you were writing it sort of vicariously, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Before
I was
you
living
wrote
it.
You were living it, right?
Yeah, but actually, now I remember because you're making me think. Wow, I had in my business I was selling bandanas. Okay, and the number one question. Now, this is back in 2001, 2004, all of this, right? The number one question I would get was how to fold a bandana like Tupac.
Okay. Wow.
And so you know who's asking these questions?
Yeah.
White people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was going to go with the youth.
No, the youth know how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I mean, it's not like Tupac made that up. He copied it from other youth, other people in our neighborhood. Yeah. Matter of fact, other women in our neighborhood would wear it backwards with the bow in the front. That was not a guy thing, really. Tupac made it into that, you know? So people wanted to know how to fold it like that. And I got tired of answering that question over and over again.
I'm just amazed by that. I got to tell you, I'm like, really? Like that was the number one
question.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And
so tell me, you ended up doing a talk on that. Did you end up doing a talk on it or what?
I ended up making a YouTube video on it. And that went viral. So it's got over 300,000 views on that.
Wow. Okay.
Right. And so that was what the guy at the Australia thing wanted me to talk about. How did I sell all those bandanas?
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yes, by using a YouTube video.
Wow.
So,
what do you attribute that to? Your philosophy of if I'm going to do it, it's going to make me money. Like, was that your plan when you said, I'm tired of answering this question, I'm going to do a video and it's going to go viral and I'm going to make money? Like, what was your thought process that took you through that? Because I was thinking you probably did not plan that and expect that to happen.
No. It was customer support. I was the only one working in my business. So I'm picking, packing, shipping, taking photos, all that. And I'm still answering the stupid question every day. I'm like, look, if I just make this video, I can point people to the video. So now it would I would auto respond. If it says how to fold or it said Tupac in it, I would just send that video.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great.
And it went viral, man. Like 250,000 people, 250,000. Yeah, I guess that is a quarter.
That is over 300,000 is more than 250,000.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Cool. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love when people sort of accidentally fall into success. You know what I mean? Because it makes it much richer when they do. You know, it's such a wonderful story as well. So you've been to Australia. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's very organic. You know, I think success most of the times is organic.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. You probably have seen it, that meme that shows the trajectory of success for an entrepreneur like that. And then, or for most people. And then for the entrepreneur, it kind of zigs and zags and wraps around and goes up and down.
Yes.
It's still going up. It's just going in a different direction as it goes up.
Absolutely.
Kind of sounds like what you did. After Australia, where'd you go next? You may not remember, but just some of the cool places.
I do, because then I went to Norway. Because I met the guy at the thing in Australia and he got me a gig in Norway.
Wow. Relationships.
Actually, my whole speaking business has been based on relationships.
Wow. That's amazing.
Because you never know who you're going to meet.
That's true.
You never know.
That's very, very true. Very, very true.
And I think from there I went to France and southern Italy, and then I got this one gig on a boat, and the boat was a private boat. They said, you know,
like a yacht boat or like a ship, or because boat sounds like it's this big. You know what I mean?
No,
and boat is not this big. What you mean is more like a streamliner or something, right?
It was a mini cruise. So I want to say there was like 200 people on the.
Oh, that's not many.
Well, it is, because I mean, there's there's thousands of them on the big ship.
Yeah.
But this ship it had the cruise vibe, you know, but it wasn't huge. It was big.
It was more like a hotel
Yeah. You know, but I mean, it had great staff and we had great parties and all this. But I remember they called me up to do the event and they said, you know, can you fly to, where did we take off from? From Milan or somewhere, right? And I'm like, sure. So you're going to get on the boat in Milan and then we'll get you off in the next port, whatever that was. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Where else is the boat going to go? She's like, well, it's going to do the whole thing around Italy and end up in Rome. I was like, well, can I stay on the boat? And she's like, yeah, because we have to buy your room anyway, whether you get off.
Wow.
So with that, I got to go all between Rome and Greece.
Nice.
And I was like, whoa. So that was kind of one of
that blew your mind, didn't it? You said, I'm really doing something at that point, I'll bet.
You know what? It blew my mind in a very weird way coming from my beginnings. It allowed me to see the world, you know. I think a lot of us dream about what it would be like to travel, but when you actually are traveling, you realize, I think what more than anything, I got the perspective of when we say we're number one and everybody is all about
the USA, right?
Yeah, the USA. Then I realized, the USA is like cool, but there ain't nobody just going like, oh my God, I'm so glad you guys exist. No, it changes your perspective. Suddenly you're not the focus of the entire planet. Yeah. And I enjoyed that. And not only that, I think as an African-American male, which, you know, there was a different way that people would look and respond to me that I would never get in
a good way.
Absolutely, in a great way, you know, because they didn't look at me through the lens of our American experience.
Yeah. Do you know Jermaine Griggs?
Yes.
Do you remember that last year? Was it last year? Or was it? I think they started in 2018. But he and his family, his wife and was it 3 children? 3 children. I can't remember how many. But they, he is a master at marketing automation, and they saved enough money so that they could travel the world and expose their whole family, including their young children, to different experiences. And I follow him on Instagram. And I got to tell you, what I saw was exactly what you described. Because there were only a couple of countries where he said we felt the fact that we were Black, right? When we visited this place. But every place else treats you like you're like anybody else.
They treat you like Americans.
Right.
That's the difference. In America, I don't get treated like an American.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all they saw was, oh, that's John from America.
Yeah.
Like, wow,
not John, the Black guy from America.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, that was different. And
it's refreshing because that's not how we as a people are treated in our own country.
Exactly.
You know, with so much going on right now, I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but it's a welcome reminder, you know, that you can go somewhere else and be acknowledged for who you really are, a person.
Right.
You know, from America. You just happen to be from America, but you're a person.
Exactly.
You know? So tell us how you got the name colderICE. I got to ask that question.
Fantastic, because that's a good lead-in. So when I wanted to do the speaking thing, you know, I wanted to have my own, you know, URL, johnlawson.com. I have that now.
Yes, it took you a minute, didn't it?
It did take me. Actually, my followers bought it for me. It was a gift. Somebody gave it to me.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You know, because somebody was squatting on it and didn't want to give it up unless I paid thousands of dollars. And I was like, forget it. Yeah. I got colderICE. But so I needed something different. And one day I was just thinking about this story, since we're talking about this, the African-American story, as far as it leads to business and entrepreneurship. I don't think people think about history the way that I kind of was introduced to it, because my father was very good about teaching me about Black history. But when you think about it, when we were segregated, African Americans had to be entrepreneurial because if you wanted your shoes shine, you had to go to a black place. You wanted your teeth done, you had to go to a black dentist. Hopefully you could find one.
Right.
If you wanted a cab, you had to ride the black cabs. So everything white had a counterpart that was black, run by black people. And all the storefronts that you would shop in were black owned. And literally the day that you were able to go downtown to shop, those shop owners would watch their, clientele walk right past their shops to go downtown to Woolworths. And they said, well, I guess the white man's ice is colder. And that's where it came from.
Wow. What a story, John. What a great story.
That's where it came from. And at the time, too, again, we're talking about very early 2000s. I didn't think anybody would listen to me because I was black. So that was probably my thing internally. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So colderICE really gave me a lot of confidence.
Yeah. Confidence for you.
Yeah. It just did something for me.
Yeah. I also think in addition to it giving you that level of confidence, it seems to me that it gave you a persona that maybe you didn't have when you stepped on the stage as well.
Absolutely.
This is something about seeing John Lawson, but it's different when you say colderICE.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a persona. It's a whole hook. I was listening in the car earlier and I did not know that, I'm going to forget his first name. Jermaine Maxwell Riviera. Do you know who that is? Mm-hmm. How about Maxwell, the singer?
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I never knew that he had these other two names. And I was listening in the car and I thought, wow, that's amazing. Because now I understand he probably has a Latin heritage, right? Because before that, I didn't know.
Right.
He looks like us. So I thought he was one of us. Right. Yeah. So to know that there's a persona that some people have to put forward, it probably helped him because I understand early in his music career, he was shy on stage.
Right.
He didn't know how to perform and connect to the audience. And I'm sure becoming Maxwell, a solo named, a one named performer helped him a lot with his confidence and stuff. Wow. So congratulations on that. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll do the profitable wisdom segment. Sound good?
Awesome.
Okay. If you're a coach, speaker, industry expert, or marketplace influencer, selling must be something that you master to grow your business. Wendy Y here, and I've got just the thing you need. Supersize Your Selling is a 7-day sales challenge. Throughout the 7 days, I help you to grow confident in your ability to sell. I help you understand your personal strengths as a sales leader so that you can leverage them to be authentic in your selling. I also help you identify the fear of rejection that's keeping you from asking for the sale and help you overcome that with ease. I throw in a script for you that's entirely written out for you that you can begin to practice and make your own. And you also have the rare opportunity to have a coaching session with me as part of the sales challenge. So go on over to supersizeyourselling.com and sign up today. And I look forward to your growing confidence as a sales leader.
Wendy Y here, and I want to extend my personal invitation to you to join the Profitable Coaching Society. It's a growing community of coaches, speakers, industry experts, and marketplace influencers just like you. Join the after party to connect with guests so you can continue the dialogue. They're waiting in the society to greet you. When you join, you're going to receive my special gift, the ultimate guide to profitable coaching conversations. Go to www.profitablecoachingsociety.com and I'll see you there.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Now it's time for our Profitable Wisdom segment. It's the segment that viewers and audiences and listeners really enjoy because they get a glimpse into something really special about the guest. So question number 1, John. Who has had the greatest influence on you in your life?
Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
By far, Muhammad Ali. I mean, he was like a superhero, you know, when I was growing up, where, you know, like these kids today, you know, they got actual superheroes on TV.
It's not the same.
It's not the
Yeah,
same.
it's not the same.
But I mean, Muhammad Ali was the greatest, not just in the ring, but as an example of a man that was confident, would speak with force, and was very, very intelligent. And all of those things in one package, along with being a great fighter, was just, you know, oh man, he was so awesome.
Yeah, what most people don't know, and I love that you chose him, most people don't know that he went through a whole lot. The movie Ali only scratched the surface.
Yeah.
He went through a whole lot to claim his independence, if you will, as a black man in the sports arena.
Yep.
And he fought for it, and he would not let go.
No.
And I love that. You know, people want to say bad things about him sometimes, but do your research, because he's an amazing guy.
Yeah, he's
so grew up in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest in our American history. I mean, he's one you should definitely check out, because he's just an amazing individual.
Yeah. When we talked about this question off air, you said that there were quite a few to name. So is there one more?
Well, it would be his teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Gotcha.
I mean, overall, that's the one that's had the most influence on my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So what's the best business advice you've ever received?
The best business advice would be from Zig Ziglar. And he would always say that if I helped enough people get what they want, I would have everything that I want.
Yeah. Yeah. That's from a place of service. I love it.
You
and
know?
What's the largest single sale you've ever made in your business? Tell us the circumstances, the amount, and what you did to celebrate, if you did anything.
Okay. I don't know. Okay. I did a TV commercial for American Express.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't sell them on that. Of course, they called me. Mm-hmm. But, you know, once I got the check, it was like, whoa, you're kidding me. I had no idea it was going to be this much, you know. So
you didn't know before you did it how much you were going to get paid?
No, actually, what they called and said, would you be interested in a marketing opportunity with American Express? I'm like, yeah, sure. You know, we'll pay your way and all that stuff, and you'll stay in the hotel, blah, blah, blah. I got on set, and I asked the guy on set, I'm like, dude, do you think, it was only one other black guy on set too. I remember that.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, and we were just kicking it, you know, kikiing, you know. Yeah. And I was like, so do you think I'll make it in the commercial? He's like, bro, you are the only black person they brought out for this commercial. So I guarantee you're going to be in the commercial. But they would never tell me if I was going to make the cut.
Okay.
They were
They treated you like you were auditioning.
Well, they just let you know, well, we're going to edit it, and we don't know. What also I didn't know is that there are people that were in the commercial that didn't speak, right? So they just showed their portion, but they never said anything. So the deal is you get a different rate of pay if you're a speaker in a commercial than if you're just somebody that's just appearing in the commercial.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So that's why they never told me how much I was
definite amount.
Right. So they gave me a nice little per diem. It's like, here, thanks for coming. Here's $1,000, you know, and sent me back home. Shoot, man. 2 weeks after the commercial came on, I got a check in the mail, and then they kept coming for like a month.
Residuals
every time it got shown.
Wow.
So
give us some numbers so we know what we're talking about.
It was about 30,000.
Wow. That's amazing.
That was and that was like $5,000 or $6,000 every week coming in the mail.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yes. Nice. You know, I love it because when you least expect it, I was talking to somebody earlier, it's like having a ram in the bush. Yeah. It's like a little miracle pops into your life. So what did you do to celebrate when you were getting this $5,000 or $6,000 every week? What did you do to celebrate? What's one different thing that you said, I can take the risk and I can do this?
Maybe we went out to dinner. I don't know. I bought this pool. I bought a pool. That's what I did. We bought a pool.
Okay. Are we talking above ground or are we talking?
I live in Stone Mountain, honey. Okay. They call it Stone Mountain for a reason because everything under the ground.
I know.
So the cost to put an in-ground pool in was so absorbent. I was like, well, we'll just put it on top.
It still works the same way.
It still works the same way.
Yep, it does.
Absolutely. And I enjoy it to this day.
I love it. So what has helped you when you thought of giving up in your business? This is one of those questions that I want the viewers and the listeners to understand. They're going to be rough spots, but there are things that they can do to move through the rough spots beyond them to get on the other side. What do you say?
I just think that there just was no way that I was going back. I could not go back to working for somebody else. And I would do anything to stay free. My freedom is the most important part of this whole journey, is just to be free of somebody else determining, what time I come in, what time I go home, what I need to do, all those things. My freedom was so important that anytime I got crazy, I start thinking about, or anytime things got crazy, I start thinking about, you know what? It's crazy, but you have the freedom right now to deal with that. You have the capacity to deal with it. And I've just made a way. You just make a way, bro.
Yeah, I love it. It's tenacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tenacity. I was the same way, John. I was like, there's no way I'm going back to work for somebody else again. I call myself officially unemployable and unrecruitable. Yeah. I don't even know if that's a word.
That's true. But literally, I'll go out and sell, $1 necklaces on the street corner before I go back to work. I'm just serious.
Yeah. 19 years in, I totally understand.
Yeah.
And then finally, what is your greatest personal accomplishment outside of your business?
The greatest personal accomplishment would have to be writing the book. Is because I never felt that. And let me make one thing clear. My book is not my book. I sold it to a publisher. So
I understand the difference.
Right. So it was not self-published, that somebody paid me for the idea. Before I wrote a one word on paper, they sent me a check, and they're like, you are somebody that we want to work with. And everything that I had built up to that point, I used and leveraged to get them interested enough in me. It was because I had 50,000 followers on Twitter. It was because I'd sold, $20 million worth of stuff online, because I've traveled around the world. I took all those things, put it in a package, handed it off to a agent, and he found me a book deal.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. I've self-published too, and I know there's a big difference between what you described. I really
look. Hey, if I do it over again, though, guaranteed, I'm self-publishing. I'm keeping that money this time.
Yeah, they do take a lot when they publish it, and they pull a lot from you to get it out there. Yeah. So there are advantages and disadvantages. But what I want to say is that's some real marketplace influence that people don't understand is important. Yeah, people get likes all day long. It's really not about that. It's about the number of engaged followers you have across your social media. That makes the difference. And it sounds like you were able to leverage that to say, I've got an idea how much you want to pay for it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So we're going to take another break. And when we come back, I just want to hear your closing thoughts and what you're going to share with our viewers and listeners. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, awesome.
Hi, I'm Penelope Jane Smith, and you are tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversations show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Are you a coach, speaker, industry expert, or marketplace influencer who's ready to take your business to the next level? That means more time, more money, more clients, and lots more options, not just in your business, but in your life as a whole. I'm Wendy-Y-Bailey, known as your Income Acceleration Mentor, and I want to extend my personal invitation to you to join me and my amazing guests as we tap into sales and marketing insights to help you grow your business and ultimately your bottom line.
It's easy to get caught up in the marketing side of it because marketing typically is more fun.
Yeah.
And
find businesses and opportunities that are going to bring you joy.
Saturday and Sunday was prime time. Lunchtime was prime time. So while everybody else is going to work, hanging out with their coworkers, trying to figure out what happened last night on Monday Night Football, I was making phone calls, I was responding to email, like I was, trying to build a business. So I had
my personal motto is by giving what I have, God is always going to give me what I need.
And if you were to ride in my car, you were paying for the gas.
I love it. Tune in to Profitable Coaching Conversations at www.profitablecoachingconversations.com. Okay, welcome back, everybody. And I just want to make sure that you guys know who John is and that he's got some really special parting thoughts for you. So what are your parting thoughts, John? If there's one thing you want people to remember from this conversation, what would it be?
Multiple streams of income.
Wow.
So, and I don't mean just being here, there, and everywhere necessarily, but usually in your market or in wherever you are, there's multiple streams that you should be able to draw from. So if something dries up, you've got something else that's working. So yes, I've got my e-commerce business, I've got my products and teaching, and I've got my speaking, right? And they all kind of work together, but they're also multiple streams, And so I think that has been my saving grace in terms of just think of what all the things that we've gone through as a country. And, in terms of the economy goes up and down no matter what. Mm-hmm. Every 10 years, there is a crash in the economy. Mm-hmm. Just remember that, and having multiple streams and keeping it lean has really saved me. So
awesome.
I think that's a good thing.
Awesome. John, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. I'm sure you have a free gift for everyone. I'll put it in the show notes or in the comments below on YouTube. Yep. And take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much for tuning into Profitable Coaching Conversations with Wendy-Y-Bailey. Be sure to join us at the after party at www.profitablecoachingsociety.com. We'll see you next time for more sales and marketing wisdom and insight from Wendy Y and her amazing guests. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when new episodes are posted.